Alrighty, we're going to work on worksheet 10-8, which is about equations of circles. Your job is to complete all the evens. So since we have to do only evens, I will work at least one problem per section. In other words, one problem per set of directions. So for the first set of directions, it asks for us to state the center and the radius, and then graph the equation. So I'll do number 2. The equation of a circle, which was at the top of the sheet as well as on your notes, in its general form, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And since my pen is a little big, it's harder to do, but if I were you, when you write that equation down, I would make sure everything lines up as best as possible. Every sign, every symbol, every parentheses, the equals, everything should be aligned. That way you can easily see what is in the relative positions. Now the center is always going to be HK. So if I look at it, H is in the parentheses with X. So there's a 2 inside the parentheses with X. According to the equation, there's a minus sign in front of the 2. But as I take the 2 out of the parentheses to write the center, I need to keep the sign the opposite of what is written already. So if it says minus 2 right now, when I write it outside of this parentheses, I'm going to put plus 2 or positive 2. All right, same thing for my k value. My k value looks like I should write -1, right? But again, when I take that -1 outside of the parentheses, I'm changing the sign, so it's going to be a positive 1. So both values of my center are positive, even though they look negative in the equation. Again, you have to remember opposite, opposite, opposite. So the center is at 2, 1. So let's go ahead and plot that on our graph, and it would be about right here. And let's label it C for center. Now let's talk about our radius. The radius is found using that last number. So we know that radius squared is equal to 9. If I want to know what the radius is, I would have to take the square root of this value to get the radius. So that means the radius is 3. Now from the center, I'm going to use the radius value, which is 3, to find other points. So let's go right 3. 1, 2, 3. I would end up here at 5, 1. Go 3 up. 3. I would end up right here at 2, 4. Go 3 to the left. I would end up right here at -1, 1. And go 3 downwards. I would end up right here at 2, -2. Now that we have 4 good points, you need to draw a circle to the best of your ability. Hopefully my shape tool will cooperate. And bam, there's a circle. So the circle that graph is now complete. I have my center point where it's supposed to be, and then I have 4 good points labeled around the circle. I expect you to do the same thing on number 4. Now in the next section, for 6 through 10, they want us to write the equation. So I'll work number 6 with you. Again, it's good to know how the equation should look, so you probably want to write the format. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. Again, your center is always your h and your k, so you might want to write that. And again, your radius is r. Now, I'm going to write everything over except for h and k. And r. And then I will substitute the values where they belong. So h is supposed to be 2, k is supposed to be 3, and my radius is 5. And now we can write it in its simplest form. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared, which is 25. And that's the final equation. So again, you still see that same idea. If the number for your center is positive, when it's written as an ordered pair, when you put it into the equation, make sure you change the sign. So don't forget that fact. If it's a positive, you change it to a negative in the equation. If it's negative, you change it to a positive in the equation. Please don't forget that part. And perhaps we'll do one where you see the difference. All right, for the next section, number 12 wants us to write the equation. So first, let's identify the center and the radius. So the center is this dot right here. It's located at x value of 1 and a y value of 3. So that means 1, comma 3. And from the center to the edge, let's count. 1, 2, 3. So that means our radius is 3. Now that I know my numbers, they're both positive numbers in my center. So that means when I write my equation, they're gonna both appear to be negative. So that means x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 3 squared. Now the final thing I would do is write it in its simplest form. That means go ahead and calculate what 3 squared is. So the final equation is x minus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 9. That's my final answer. So again, the more you do, the easier it gets and the faster you become. For number 14, again, we're writing the equation of the circle. It tells me the center is at 0, 0, and the diameter is 14. So I have my h and my k, but I have the diameter. I know that the radius is half the diameter, so I need to take 14 divided by 2, which is 7, and that is my radius. So now that I have my radius and I have my center, I can write down the equation. It'd be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 7 squared. But again, write it in its simplest form. So x minus nothing is simply x squared. Y minus nothing is y squared. And 7 squared is 49. So that's the final equation for that one. Number 18 is a lot like number 12, so I'm sure you can handle that now. And number 20 is a lot like number 2, just one extra step. Oh no. So I've done one of every section. So good luck to you on finishing the rest of the evens on your own.